Holy Circle Gaming presents Marvel Puzzle Quest Top 2 Stars 2017 edition. With you, Holy Circle Gaming. Thanks for rocking with your boy like always. Definitely really an honor to do as such. Y'all see what we getting into. We back at it. Marvel Puzzle Quest, continuing the series. In the background, we run a little pack pull session if y'all don't see that already. Man, it's about that time, y'all. Y'all was waiting for that 1-star to drop off, so we gave that to you. Now it's time to give you that 2-star action. So we waiting on. We gonna give y'all that in a few moments. But how y'all been? Hopefully everything's been good with all of you. Everything's been good with me and the fam. So talk to me for a little bit. Before we get into this 2-star list, I got a question for y'all. Should we see another set of 2-star characters? That's the one thing we haven't seen all year. We've seen a bunch of 3-star characters drop, and those are going to be really, really cool. We've seen a bunch of 4-star characters drop. Those are cool too. We even seen some 5-star characters drop. All of those are official as well. But when are we going to see maybe some 2-stars? Should we get another set of 2-stars? That's a very legit question because I don't know if we should actually see any more 2-stars. I think that a 2-star 2 will be beneficial, especially for the new players. It will get them interested in seeing a 2-star drop. I know what the characters coming out going forward are going to be about. That's for people who's been playing for a period of time. But a mix or two of a couple of 2-star characters, I don't see that as a bad thing. But are we due for a couple of 2-star characters? Maybe. We should be. I would think we should be. But we'll see as we go along. But the characters that they did drop throughout the year has been really, really good. But this is what we're going to get into momentarily. We're going to get into them top 2-star characters. Hopefully y'all like the list. I know y'all got questions about the 1-star list. We're going to talk about that too. Don't worry about that. We're going to get into that a little bit down the line. But right now, it's going to be all about them 2-stars. What 2-stars y'all like, what 2-stars y'all don't like. Y'all ready to get into the list? Yeah, it's about that time, family. I appreciate y'all doing this with your boy. Let's get into it. 14 on the list is Bagman. Man, what are we talking about Bagman for? Can we keep it 100 with y'all? Bagman is the worst character in the game. None of his abilities are dope at all. Switcheroo, all that stuff, all garbage. Promise you. The only reason why people use Spider-Man, the Bagman version at all, is simply because it's either an achievement or a quest item that you need. And the ill thing about it is, it's hard to even get him in your hands. That's why he's a quest and achievement, because it's so hard to get him. What they should have done is put the 1-star Bagman where the 1-star Spider-Man where the 2-star Spider-Man is, and vice versa. That's what they should have done. But should you use this character at all in any form or fashion? The answer is no. You should never, never, ever, ever use him under any circumstance at all. He is the worst character in the game, no question. And anybody who plays Marvel Puzzle Quest should know as such. Let's go ahead and get to number 13, shall we? So number 13 on the list, that's Moonstone. Now, I'm not going to go as hard in the paint on Moonstone because at the very least, she got a couple abilities that are aight. Control Shift is okay. Gravity Warp is eh. Photon Blast is decent, but is she really a good character? The answer is no. She's really not that great of a character either. I don't give her no run on my squads at all. I tried to give her a run just on GP just so I can get a feel for how she plays. I just don't like Moonstone. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Moonstone really isn't that good to me. It's just her abilities just don't do enough when it comes to 2-star land. Every other character outside of Bagman in 2-star land does a whole bunch of things better than Moonstone does. That's the reason why she sits at 13. She's not super horrible, but she's kind of horrible. So I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Don't use her either. She's at 13. Let's go ahead and get to number 12. Number 12 is Steve Rogers. Now, you know what? Steve Rogers, in theory, is actually pretty cool. You know, Sentinel of Liberty, if it didn't cost like an obscene amount, would be a great ability. At 19, that's a little bit much. Star Spangled Banner's pretty alright. And Peacemaker's pretty alright because it does damage, it does a stun, it gives you protection. It's just the values for the trade-off in which you get for him is a little bit high, at least in the 2-star realm. So it's hard to utilize him, but his color scheme is pretty good. You could use him with a couple of different teams. I just don't think that he is better than the ones that are ahead of him, but he's okay. He's not horrible. His abilities are decent. They're just not great. The 3-star version is definitely better than the 2-star version by far. You just don't get enough value for the gems that you have to kick out for Steve Rogers. That's why he's sitting at number 12. Let's go ahead and get prepared and get into number 11. Bullseye sits at number 11. Now, with Bullseye, you know the ability that I really like off of Bullseye is Deadly Precision. I really like Deadly Precision a lot because that really is a pretty unique board shake for a 2-star. I really like that. Murder Zane can cash in for you at times. It's just not as consistent. And Adamantanium Bones, that gives you decent protection and stuff too. I actually am not completely sour on Bullseye like some players are. I just don't think that he's in the top tier when it comes to 2-stars either. I just think that he's a decent character with decent ability, one pretty official ability with Deadly Precision. That's what makes him at least playable, but not great. He's just basically on the bottom half of things when it comes to 2-star characters, but definitely not horrible at all. So Bullseye, maybe a little bit of run. He's just not going to see a lot of run on your team for a long period of time. Let's get to number 10. At number 10, Human Torch. Now, with Human Torch, this is like the baby version of Human Torch, with Fireball, pretty decent as a red ability. Inferno is pretty cool, but you take a little bit of a hit when it comes to like your AP consumption. And then you got Flame Jet, which is pretty okay too, but again, it's a drain on your gems. So that's the only reason why I really don't like Human Torch, is because it's a gem drain. But outside of that, Human Torch is pretty decent. He's okay. It's just when you look at his abilities and his scheme, there's just characters that do what he can do a little bit better. There's nothing really unique about him at all. It's just the baby version will get you some run if he's one of your first 2-stars you get your hands on, but you're going to get off of him and get some of these ones that's up in the upper echelon of 2-stars, that's for sure, because they come in at a fast rate. I like Human Torch, don't love him. That's the reason why he sits at number 10. Let's get ready to get to number 9. I know y'all going to be mad at me. I'm sorry. Daken sits at number 9, at least this version of him. I'm not saying that he's bad. His abilities are decent. That is true. What I'm going to tell you is he doesn't work for my play style. I don't run a lot of strike tile teams like that, so he doesn't work for me. His ability to drop them extra grains is beneficial. I'm not saying that he's horrible. He actually stays on his feet a lot, and you compare him with a lot of good characters. But he sits at number 9 on my list. I can't rock with him. Sorry to my boy E Hero Claiming. Sorry to my boy Nick Gracia. Sorry to the Holy Circle who said he should have been higher. I couldn't put him higher. I'm sorry. He's decent. I think I like the 3-star version of him better than the 2-star. That is the reason why he sits at number 9. I give my apologies ahead of time. But he's a decent character, not great. Let's go ahead and get it to number 8. Coming in at number 8, that's Hawkeye. Hawkeye is a very decent character. Not great, not horrible, but decent. You know, his abilities basically work off of countdown tiles, and that's the reason why he's typically lower than what he would rather be otherwise. Electric Arrow, for all intents and purposes, decent. Blast Arrow, for all intents and purposes, decent. Speed Shot is kind of the X factor though, because if you actually utilize Speed Shot, if you get 5 tiles match, that can actually do a lot of damage in the interim, especially when you're first starting off. If you're a 2-star player, HAWKEYE can actually help you out when paired with the right characters that could generate some tiles. But there's other characters in 2-stars land who could do exactly what he does, plus minus Speed Shot, but definitely better. That's the reason why he sits at number 8. A solid character, just not a great character. Let's get into number 7. Sitting at number 7, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel herself. I like Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel is a great character. I like her ability to take away projectiles because that can help you early on if you're a new player. I like Sonic Boom because even though it's countdown based, the first portion of it actually gives you damage off top, and then you have the ability to double up on the back end. Strategic Command is really why I used her. Shout out to my man Boom Boom Shot Put, Holy Circle Gaming. He's the one who got me to utilize her first because of her ability to shake up the board, and because of that, it really helped me out immensely, and to be able to get those team up tiles cooking, that's definitely a good look too. I like Captain Marvel. I just don't think she's strong enough to really be more of a higher tier, but you could make a case for her to be 7, maybe 6. But I kind of like her sitting at number 7 in this particular rating system. So I like her number 7, Captain Marvel. Very good choice. Definitely should give her some run. Let's get into number 6. Man, I kind of like Wolverine in this spot. I know that some people may want to have him higher, and you're not wrong having Wolverine in the 6th spot, maybe in the 5. You can make a good case for him because he is very good. Don't get it wrong. You know, his abilities can change up your fortunes very early on, especially if you're a new player. And he does transition well if you're transitioning from a 2-star to a 3-star player. The only reason why I don't have Wolverine higher on this list is simply because I just don't know if his abilities they carry that much through to your 3-star series. And he pairs decently. He could be a tank for you. If you're a strike tile player, you will like him. I just don't know if you're going to love him. I just don't know if he's better than the characters that I have listed ahead of him. He's good though, because healing, attack, strength, yes, he has all of that. I just don't know if he's better than the ones who are listed in the top 5. Speaking of which, let's get into it. Sitting at number 5, that's Ares. Now, I know y'all can make a very good case of why Ares could be 5, or Wolverine could be 5, or even why Ares could be higher. Because the way I see it, Ares, Wolverine, basically one in the same. They have identical abilities, utilizing basically identical colors. The only difference is where Aditanium Slash for Wolverine did more damage, Rampage actually hits team damage. But either way it goes, they're both strong, they're both tanks, both good. I like Ares a lot, and the only reason why I edge Ares maybe a click higher than what I did Wolverine is simply because I think I like Sunder better, and I think I like the ability to go ahead and do some sort of team damage. Because of those 2 reasons alone, that's the reason why I have Ares at number 5. But you could make a case for him to be higher. I'm willing to hear what y'all talking about in regards to Ares. Let's get into number 4. At number 4, that's Magneto. Now, you can make a case for Magneto being higher or lower. I understand. I like Magneto at number 4. Keep in mind, even though he has 2 abilities that utilize countdown tiles, if they get off, they could change the board and do good amounts of damage, opposite of some other characters that are lower on this list. But really what it comes down to for me is polarity shift. When you're talking about polarity shift and the ability to go ahead and change up the scheme to give you some extra color help in regards to blue, Absolutely, because there's very few players who can actually give you blue gems and change up the board to make it blue. And blue is a pretty dominant color in this game, so having Magneto early on, especially matched up with other 2-star characters who could utilize those blue and then give you some additional red help if necessary, you can't go wrong with that. I like Magneto at 4. I just don't have him higher than that. Let's get to number 3. Now sitting at number 3, that's Thor. I really like Thor. You could make a case for him to be number 1. I'm not even going to front with you, because he is one of the only characters, especially early on, that doesn't require anything or anybody else to get his abilities working. Mulligan Might generates gems that help Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike helps out with gems and give you Call of the Storm. And even with all that being said, with the yellows being generated and the greens being generated, you could utilize those for other characters too. So if you feel that you don't want to use those gems towards Thor, they can be used towards any other characters that can utilize yellow or green as well. And he's pretty much a tank, so he can stay on his feet. So I like Thor a lot. I really think he's a very good character. The only reason why I don't have him at number 1 is simply because I like the other 2 characters a little bit better, because I think they're a slight bit more versatile when you're pairing them with teams. But don't get it wrong, you can make a case for any one of the 3 that's in the top 3. Speaking of which, let's get to number 2. I got Black Widow at number 2. Now, I understand, I know what y'all heard when I said about Black Widow in the 1 stars. Why rank a character high if they don't have an attacking ability? Here's the one and only time I'm going to make an exception to the rule, and it's right here. Simply because her abilities, when it comes to story mode, and you're going against those little regular minion type characters that utilize countdown tiles, she can negate those and basically make your life so much easier when running story mode when you're a upstart character who don't have a 3-star or a 4-star character who could do that a slight bit better. Now, I still think that she still needs an attacking ability. That is very true. But don't negate the fact that she can help out a team at any point in time. I understand why people have her at number 1. But I'm going to be honest with you. She wouldn't have hit number 1 either way it goes with me. It was either number 2 or number 3. And in this instance, I'm putting her at number 2 simply on the strength of what she could do in story mode. Let's get into number 1. Now, y'all know, I had to put Storm at number 1. Storm, pound for pound, one of the best 2 stars on the board. You can make a case for Black Widow or Thor, absolutely. But Storm being at number 1 is simply because of this. Her ability to pair with other characters very well. That is fact. Her ability to board shake with Lightning Storm and to be able to generate AP in regards to it and do damage, great. Raging Tempest with the retaliatory damage that she could do, fantastic. Windstorm, where she could stun and do team damage, and one of the better team damages that you could do in 2-star land. You absolutely have to have Storm in the mix, and easily is a number 1 top flight character. The only downfall with Storm is that her health can be suspect at times, but when 2-star and maybe transitioning into 3-star, she's going to be just fine for you. That's the reason why I have Storm at number 1, because she's one character that you ultimately will have to have on your team. Well, there y'all have it, family. We got through the 2 stars, top to bottom. Tell me how y'all like them. I like the list. It's not too far away from what I did first time last year. Go ahead and take a look to see what the 2 stars look like. But yeah, man, I like them 2 stars. But it goes back to the original question that I have. Is that, are we due for more 2 stars? Do y'all like the list of the 2 stars that I have? Could y'all put them in a different order? Let me know what y'all think, man. I'm really interested to see what y'all like in regards to the 2-star setup. I know y'all had a lot of questions about the 1 stars. I know y'all gonna have more questions about the 2 stars, but I really do like this list a lot. I don't think there's gonna be too much questions one way or another, but I really like the 2 stars. But I really think that we're due to have more 2 stars on the list. But y'all know who I am. I'm Mr. True Indeed. Y'all know who I represent. It's the Holy Circle Gaming. Like always, family, it's God above everything. And until the next time,